Alright, to get started with this planner project, I've cut out some forms as guides to go by. This is the bottom. I'll need 3 of these. And then various sizes of the side pieces, and I'll need 4 each of these. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to the slab roller. I'm going to roll out some nice flat slabs and start cutting out the floor and the walls of my planners. I'm just throwing down some clay to stretch it out a little bit before I put it in the slab roller. That looks good. There, ready to run through. I have it set at 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so here it is. So I take the texture from the blanket off with the rib and put it on a board, a wear board, so that I can take it over to my workbench and cut it open, or cut it into pieces, I should say. There we go. Okay, what I do now is I start cutting out my pieces. I know I need 4 of these, so I just use a needle tool, go around and cut out what I need. Try to save as much space as I can so that I can get them all on as few times that I got to go through the slab roller, the better off I am. I'm going to continue doing this with all the different pieces for all 3 of the planners here, and I'm going to set them aside for maybe an hour, maybe even 2 hours. Let them stiffen up a little bit so that they'll keep their shape while I am hooking them together. Now I know I need 4 of these. No, I'm sorry, I need 3 of these. So I'm going to see if I can, how many more pieces I can get out of here. In fact, maybe I'll just use this one here, and I'll make 3 sides, 3 or 4 small sides and 1 medium size side. And then I will pull the rest of this clay out of here, roll it back up, wedge it, and then add some more clay, roll it through the slab roller again for the next bunch of walls and the floor that I need. Here's all the pieces all cut out. What I do is I use this tool to make the edges be a 45 so that they have more surface to stick together, and it just works better. Get a larger surface to connect. So there's did the 4 walls. Now I'm going to do the floor, and on this piece I'm going to need to cut all 4 corners, all 4 sides into a 45. There we go. Now I always save all this stuff, and I'm going to going to be using this in a minute. Now, because this, what I'm making here is a planter, and I want a hole in it, I got this hole maker here. It makes a nice hole for the bottom of the pot to let the water run out. Here's all those corners we took off. What I do is I just put it in a bucket of water just for a sec and squeeze out the water a bit, and I'm going to roll it back out into snakes. But before I do that, I have to score and slip all the parts that need to get hooked together here. I like to give it a good scoring, add a little bit of clay water here, and attach it together. This one will just stand up here like that, and then this other one will hook onto here, and once you get two on, it'll stay. So now I'm going to score and slip the next one and stick it in here. Last one. It's all been wet and scratched her. My friend Puka Pin says, scratch and attach. And there we got it. We got all four sides hooked on here. Now I'm going to roll out some snakes to put in the corners to give it added strength. These are going to go in here like this. To help me make these corners, I made this tool here. It's just the two pieces of wood hooked together at a 45-degree angle that I hold on the outside so that when I press in the corner, it keeps everything nice and tight. I usually do this with a tool, and I take my time and do this just because it really helps to keep those corners from coming apart when they dry or when it's being fired. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to clean this up. It is the inside of a planter, so it doesn't have to be real pretty. But I'm going to go around and do all the other corners with these. Okay, there it is. It's all put together and kind of cleaned up with all the corners nice and tight. Now it's just going to go on now to putting the other two together. Okay, here they are. They're all put together. It's been 24 hours approximately, and they're pretty dry. And as you can see, I have begun decorating them. I'm using these little stencils here. The way I do this is I have my little stencils I cut out of paper a long time ago, and I just trace around. I'm using a soft pencil. It's a 5B, and on this dry clay it makes just about enough of a line so that I can paint inside there. Now what I'm doing here is I'm painting underglaze. I use velvet underglazes, and it takes a couple of coats in order to get this design so it looks good. I like this clay. It's a stoneware clay that fires very white. So I like the black, the contrast of the black and the white. I find it much easier to do this on a turntable. And this one I have here is, I actually got it in a big box store, and it is a turntable for a dinnerware to it's like a Lazy Susan kind of a thing. So I just covered it with some canvas, and it's perfectly fine for this kind of a job. You don't need to buy one of those really high dollar ones if you're just doing things like this. Now this will take a couple of coats, and so basically that's how I do it. This stoneware will fire quite high. I'm going to only fire it to cone 1 because it's just for a potted plant. I painted 3 or more coats of black on there to decorate the birds. I inverted them to let them dry out, and I also made 3 10-inch slabs on the slab roller, and I'm going to use these to make a dish for the bottom. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Here's my slab, and this is a piece of foam rubber, and it's very simple. You put this piece of wood right in the middle here, nice and flat, and you give it a good push down, rock it a little bit maybe. And there we have a dish for the bottom of the planter. Alright, I bisqued my 3 planters in the dishes, and I'm just going to paint some brushing glaze, Pure Brilliance brushing glaze from Duncan on here. And the plates on the bottom, they need to be glazed on the inside, and the planters themselves, they need to be on the outside. So I just throw a quick coat of glossy 06 glaze on them, and for the planters themselves, I use the same glaze, and I paint it on the outside rather than the inside, and I put some masking tape around the bottom, and I use that just to make a nice clean line on the bottom of the pot, and the glaze doesn't run off and get on the kiln shelves. Now I'm going to fire these now in my kiln to cone 06, because that's what the glaze is, and I'll pull off that tape around the bottom. I just clean up the top a little bit, and I paint glaze down inside a little bit as well, just because, you know, the dirt might not get all the way up to the top, and it looks shiny like the rest of the pot. So basically that's all I do. Now I know that there's a lot of other ways to do this, particularly putting that piece of masking tape around the bottom. But this works pretty well for me. Makes a nice clean edge down there, and I'm ready to fire. Alright, here they are, the bird planters. All fired, ready to put some dirt in them and a nice plant, and that's how I did it. I hope you enjoyed it.